decide?
Okay, here's another look at an old masterpiece figure. This is X-Transbots version of a masterpiece Skids. And here you could see that X-Transbots did another really great job in sculpting the figure, adding in all this extra sculpted in detail, which is also painted, so it looks really nice. And also this figure has a lot of die cast, so this figure feels really good. And also the way they painted it with this nice metallic blue paint, which actually shows better in the vehicle mode that I'll show you later, is also really nice. But the criteria for judging this figure is actually really hard, because this whole design is, you know, that old masterpiece style where it's kind of like a fusion between the original G1 toy and the cartoon, and kind of like the realistic vehicle with their own little design elements here and there. So yeah, it's really hard to judge. So with that said, let's bring out the G1 model and see first how well they captured some aspects of the cartoon aesthetics. And you could see for the most part, you know, they did a nice job matching the color, specifically the blue and the light blue. But there are some differences, such as like the headlights here, they're transparent when they should be yellow to be like the cartoon. The windows should be blue instead of this nice dark transparent windows, which looks better in the vehicle mode. And then also, you know, the knee here, it does not have that cylindrical shape. It has more like this boxy thing, which I think comes from the original G1 toy. Yeah, so I mean, I can go on and on. It's just, you know, validating what I just said, that, you know, this is kind of like a fusion. And the biggest difference is this whole shoulder. This whole shoulder area is really hard to design, and that's really the fault of the character designers for the animation model, because it just looks like he has no shoulders. It just looks like his arms sticking out of the rim of where the tires come out of the vehicle. So that's just really odd and very challenging. And I know that for a fact because before this Masterpiece Skids came out, you know, I was doing my own drawings of Masterpiece We Needed. And initially, my first design, you know, first you could see the way I chose to design the shoulder, you know, was trying to kind of like make a fusion. And then I was, you know, trying to capture a little bit of the G1 toy, because the thighs are silver and it does have boxy knees. So yeah, trying to design it was a little challenging, but I did redo that drawing so that it does capture a little bit more of the toon aesthetics. And you could see the knees have that cylindrical shape. The thighs are now blue. So yeah, just wanted to point out some of the differences there. And it's just this shoulder is really hard to design. So now let's compare this with the G1. So you could see again, the G1, you could see that the animation model is totally different. I mean, they always do something different, so obviously they designed the shoulders different there. So just giving you a look compared to the G1 toy. And let's bring out the Takata version now. This one, they also did kind of like this fusion. So this is not really that toon aesthetics. And I know why. It's because this whole area here is really hard to handle. And so, you know, you could see here the shoulders. Takata chose to kind of capture the G1 toy with that circle with the red and stripes in the red circle. But they did try to capture some tune aesthetic. So here you could see they have the cylindrical knees, whereas X-Transbots has the boxy one, kind of like off the toy. And then here you could see they put in the little stripes that the G1 toy has, but they chose to have it blue to be kind of like the cartoon, and the blue windows, which is kind of like the cartoon. So again, this is like both of these are like a fusion between the tune and the toy aesthetics. But here you could see the differences between the two. And so when you're judging this aesthetically, you know, this is really all subjective, which is whichever one that you think looks good is, you know, the one that's best for you. But in terms of the form and function, the engineering, the transformation, well, I mean, as usual, Takata does a much better job, and this one is no different. And with X-Transbots, their transformation design is, you know, always really complicated, and this one's no different. However, this one, I will say, is not actually as difficult or complex as some of their newer figures. So that's something interesting to point out. But with that said, I will point out one major issue, and that seems to be the case with X-Transbots, and it's the quality of the plastic. You know, they use these small plastic for these joint areas, and for me, it actually broke. Not from transforming it, but actually just from storing it in a plastic bag like this, because when I took it out, this wing came off. And then I found out later that there's actually a lot of people that broke this side. And let me see if I can point it out here. That's because of the plastic here. You could see this hinge. It's like 5 millimeters, and there's a pin that goes through it. And the quality of the plastic, and it's also not painted to strengthen it. So it's prone to breakage. I mean, they shouldn't make it so small like that if they're gonna, well, they shouldn't be using that kind of plastic either. And as a consequence, it ended up breaking. So yeah. And unfortunately, mine's broke way after I got it, because I know other people, they were able to get a replacement piece for this after that piece broke. But I'll just point out the difference with Takata. So here you could see Takata, they also use the same joints here, but you could see, first of all, the quality of plastic is better, and it's also painted. But look at the size of this. This is about a quarter inch. So, you know, there's no prone to breakage here. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out, because that's always something that's very frustrating for me with X-Transbots. I mean, they do a lot of nice things, but then they make some bad decisions with other areas. I mean, this just reminds me of like the Perceptor, you know, that small little plastic piece. It's just, they just use the wrong materials in certain sections. But aside from that, like I said, this is a really nice looking figure, and the transformation, even though it's complex, it's not as complex as their newer figures. This does look good. It feels good. It has a die cast. It has the nice paint and stuff, and so it's a nice figure. And in terms of the aesthetics, like I already said, this is really challenging, especially the shoulders. Yeah, it's just the character design. Yeah, they did a really bad job. So you have to pick and choose. And so you could see here, I don't know if I said, but you could see Takata, they chose to kind of capture the G1 toy. So yeah, yeah, so that's about the difference in robot mode. So I'll just say again, you know, both of these look nice, but I'll tell you my preference. I do actually like the Takata because it's better quality plastic. Transformation's not as difficult. You could be a little bit more rugged with this. Just these tab tolerances are not very good. This one, you do have to kind of be a little bit careful. Is more involved in transforming it. But I'll just be fair and point out one difference with this is the proportions. Specifically, look at the size of the head and the size of the feet. These feet are pretty big. And look at the proportions on X-Transbots. I mean, he does have kind of like a broad chest, but, you know, that's probably just a design choice there. But overall, the proportions, I think, look really nice. He does kind of have longer legs, too. I mean, the original G1 toy did have kind of like long legs anyways. But yeah, I don't want to go rambling, so that's just a look at this in robot mode. So now let's transform them into alt mode and take a look at that. Okay, here's a look at both of them in vehicle mode, and here's just a quick look at both of them from all around. And you could see that the Takata version is actually a lot smaller, and I actually think that's better because it scales better with the other Autobots in the vehicle mode. But like I said, both of these are done in kind of like that fusion of the toon and toy and realistic look. So let's first compare this X-Transbots version with the realistic vehicle. And you could see, yeah, some things, you know, is kind of okay. Like I said, I like the dark tinted windows instead of the blue windows, which is toon accurate. And here they're missing that bump on the hood, which their initial design showed that they were going to do it, but then for some reason they took it off. And closer look at the grille, you could see the headlights are transparent, which I do like, but again, I don't like the way they executed that because those lines there kind of look like cat's eye, and it's a little off where this off-center grille on the bottom should actually be on the top. But that's understandable because in robot mode you do have this silver grille, so it is a little bit challenging to design that unless you have like a faux or a pseudo grille for the front and the robot. But yeah, that's just the way it is. And let's compare it with the Takata version, and you could see the Takata version. This one, they did actually do a good job capturing the realistic version. It's just the parts that's a little bit different is the headlights are yellow, which is toon accurate, and they did give you this little bump. But then the windows are blue, which is more toon accurate. So again, like I said, both of these, they are like a fusion of the two. And so, you know, it just depends on, you know, what your preference is. Which one do you like better? And let's compare this with the animation model. So here, let's compare X-Transbots with the animation model, and you could see some parts, yeah, that's what I was telling you, this silver grille, this one is more accurate to the toon, but then it's missing the yellow headlights and the blue windows. And when we compare it with the Takata version, you could see they did give you the yellow headlights, but then it's missing that silver grille. So yeah, you can't win either way, whichever, you know, if you're trying to go all toon or all toy or realistic. So again, this just depends on what your preference is aesthetically. And like I said, I actually like both of these. So now let's take a closer look at X-Transbots, since this is the one I'm going to keep in alt mode. And you could see they did a really nice job sculpting in all the details on the rim. You do get these nice rubber wheels, which you don't get on Takata. The nice metallic blue paint. Like I said, I like the dark tinted windows, not the blue for the, which is more tune accurate. Look at even the door handle and the keyhole and the gas tank. They did a really nice job sculpting the figure and the paint as well. And I'm opening this up so you could see. I do like the way they handled this door. This whole middle section doesn't open up, just the door. So you do have this bottom part of the vehicle still attached, which I do like. You do get a seat. And I don't know if you could see, but they did give you a steering wheel on the other side. So this is kind of like an import vehicle. So yeah, that's really nice. And moving on, look at the nice rear lights, even the rear lights, the little sculpted area for the license plate, the windshield wiper, the exhaust pipe here. This parting line, at least it's this dark tinted window. You don't see it, but that doesn't clean up as well as Takata. Yeah, so there's a lot of cool things. This part I don't really like. I mean, I after transforming it, I know that they didn't need to put these bumps. I have no idea what that bump is there for. But yeah, this is really cool. And the trunk, if you stick your finger from underneath here and push out, you can actually open it, which is really cool. And the cool thing is X-Transbots did actually give you an extra accessory here. They gave you that little scooter thing, which is really nice. This is also nicely sculpted, nicely painted. The front and back lights here. I'll tell you, the way they designed this also wasn't too good, because you need a spudger, which I refuse to get, because if things are really well designed, you don't need a spudger. But you can close it up like that. Now trying to get it out, you need something to open this up. So yeah, they could have designed this a little bit better so it was easy to open up. But yeah, this is a really nice accessory that you get that Takata didn't give you, and you can stick it in there if you want. Close this up, push this in. So yeah, that's really cool. The door does open, and yeah, I was telling you this door broke. So here maybe you can get a better view. I'm telling you about this piece here that's too late to get a replacement for now. But this is what I was telling you. That's like first of all, the quality of plastic is not good. So if you want to use this for this design here, you should have probably used something better. Maybe even consider the die cast. And it's only like 5 millimeters. And here you could see where the pin goes, so that thins out this plastic even more. There's no paint in here to stabilize that plastic. It's just, yeah, those are the very irritating things X-Transbots does. I mean, they do a lot of nice things, but then they just, certain areas, they just make poor choices in design. So yeah, that's a look at that. And I will tell you, they did do a nice attention to detail here. They're concerned about the breakage, so you could see they did make this rubber. But I'm not sure what kind of rubber this is, because it does start to warp and bend. So yeah, there is a little issue here. But that's a nice thought of them to consider the breakage there. And that's about it for the X-Transbots, and this is the way he's going to stay. And since I already have him in alt mode, let's compare this with the Takata version. So the Takata version, the cool feature that you get here, you lift this up, you push this forward on the sliding bar, and then you could lift it up. You get that nice sculpted engine, which is painted, and then these side view mirrors. It's made with better quality plastic, and it's also painted. And the way they designed this to fold in was much better than the X-Transbots. I mean, you have to tuck it underneath, and it's yeah, there's some issues there. But no rubber wheels here, but it is nicely sculpted. This is very accurate to the vehicle, except the yellow headlights, which is nice. The blue tinted windows, and the doors do open here. But like I was telling you, I don't like this whole midsection opening up. X-Transbots kept the bottom part connected, and there is no interior seats or anything like that. But the back, you could see, also has all this nicely sculpted detail. It's nicely painted, and it does also open up, so that's really cool. And you do get a little trunk in here with no hollow gap down here for your finger. And there's no parting line on this window, which I do like. That's the way these kind of windows should be. There should be no parting lines on these windows. Yeah, so that's about it for the Takata. And you see that little bump here that they gave you. So yeah, they did a really nice job. But like I said, X-Transbots also did a nice job. It's just really hard to compare the differences aesthetically, because it just depends on what you like. This one feels good because of the die cast and the rubber wheels. But this one, you know, there's nothing wrong with this. And like I said, it's smaller, so it does scale a little bit better. And this thing just keeps coming off. Let me just fix this as best as I can real quick. Oh yeah, I'm glad that happened, because I could also tell you, transforming it, I kind of take back what I said. Transforming this, it's really complicated, and it's a little scary, because I'm very aware that the quality of the plastic is very brittle. So certain parts where you have to pull and bend, like tabbing this window into the chest piece or untabbing it, it's really scary. You just, you know, that you might break something. So you have to be extra cautious when manipulating this during transformation. And this one, this one, there's no problems, no fear, no concern with transforming this, other than the arms on both of them are a little bit challenging, but this one was obviously much easier. And just real quick, let's bring out a hoist so you could see the comparison here. The Takata version is a little bit smaller, like I said, and you could see this looks like a really nice scale. And now when you bring out X-Transbots, yeah, you see this looks a little bit too big, but this is my decision, because I do like this nice metallic paint. It just adds more to that realistic look. But anyways, that's about it. I don't want to go rambling on and on. Both of these are nice. It just depends on what your preference is. Just a little caution and concern with this one, with the way, you know, the engineering of the transformation is designed. It's just the same with a lot of X-Transbots. You just need to be extra careful. But there are a lot of cool things about this that I pointed out. And this one, I actually think overall, I think the Takata version is much better. But anyways, this is what I'm going to now have in alt mode. And this one is going to stay in robot. So that's a look at the old masterpiece figure, X-Transbots version of Skids. And this is a nice figure overall.
We'll start them at the 10-yard line.